Gen Z is defined as the generation between mid-1990s and mid-2010. Gen Z is known to be racially and ethnically diverse, not diverged. And there is a huge gap in this. Racially and ethnically diverse means inclusivity, accepting and embracing. Racially and ethnically diverged means exclusivity, separation, and divergences. Gen Z is the first digitally native generation. So for them to share constantly on social media, often online, their look and their opinion feel natural. With this behavior, they've influenced millennials like me and even the generations before that. The oldest members of this generation are in the middle of their 20s, and as such, in the fastest emerging generation of employees, consumers, and trendsetters. And the biggest trend we live in today is climate change. Yes, it's not a positive trend for sure, but remains the most important topic today. According to an IBM report, 72% of Gen Z believes that businesses should be held accountable for their environmental impact. This one is just a short presentation of who the Gen Z is and why they got my interest to paint them. Gen Z is a series of 6 portraits in watercolor. Watercolors are the most sustainable across all art techniques, and definitely wanted to bring it in this portrait for this reason. Phase number 1, I don't work on Saturdays. As a dignified representative of the millennials, I have been educated to serve a working system and business model in which I enter from the lowest entry-level position. Such a system doesn't hold into account my abilities and potential, sometimes not even my working background actually. My generation has been brainwashed to believe it's normal not just to work your way up the ladder, but also to be mistreated, underpaid, overloaded with work, and so undignified. Your boss comes on Friday afternoon and gives you a pile of work to be done by Monday morning, and you smile and say yes. Well, maybe not in France, they have quite a strong working law though. Thanks to Gen Z, that started changing for us, millennials as well. The portrait pictures a young businesswoman with an androgen face in the beginning of her 20s, already part of the working world, but with a strong voice. She doesn't even have to speak. Her outlook speaks louder than her voice and says, I'm powerful, bold, professional. I decide my dress code and I do not work on Saturdays. Meanwhile, for us millennials, the boss could fire us and find another one in the same position because we're easily replaceable. For Gen Z employees, it's the other way around. If an employer fires them, the Gen Z will find another one because employers are replaceable. Phase 2, multicolored freckles. The portrait is of a woman who embraces her DNA heritage. She is from the human race because this one is the only race available for humans on the planet Earth. There is no separation but inclusivity. Her hairs are multicolored, and that's why we know we have a representative of Gen Z in front of us. Gen Z makes statements with their hair, and each color has a specific meaning. In this case, the rainbow colors remind the LGBTQ community. The multicolored hair is also a sign of rebellious thinking for an activist behavior. But most of all, it's a joy to be who you choose to be, not taking into account archaic dogmas such as specific work-related dress codes and outlook expectations. Phase number 3, Wednesday. Inspired, obviously, by the modern and last reproduction of Wednesday Addams, this one is the most feminine of all the portraits. These girls' hairs are not dyed, they are natural chocolate brown with orange reflections available only under the strong sun, or better, a light projector. Her dramatic dark red lips are popping out her natural pale face. Her clothing suggests she is going out to a party or coming back from one. If you're a millennial like me, you must have already seen at least a couple of times all the seasons of Sex and the City. Do you remember Carrie's necklace that says Carrie? And about which she says in the last episode something like, I can have lost my Carrie necklace. It costs like nothing, but it's priceless. I interpret it like this. Without it, it's not me. I feel lost. The pictured young woman wears the exact same necklace, but instead of her name, the writing reveals her belonging to a specific generation, the Z generation, because Gen Z moves as a unity. Again, they're inclusive, not exclusive. Phase 4, rock and roll, androgen face, dyed hair, another Gen Z portrait. It pictures a woman with a feminine hair color that starts with her natural brown and transforms quickly to pinkish nuances. The sophisticated result gives us the feeling of a warmth. But her naturally spread around curves show a rebellious spirit, accentuated also by her black color paillette top, black shiny lips, and I own me look. She's the modern rock and roll girl, unstoppable, both. She goes at least one Maneskin concert per year. The androgen face is really important in this portrait because it balances between romantic pinkish hair and black shiny paillette. Paillettes have been used a lot in clubs and for show business icons because they make you shine under the reflector on the scene. Phase 5, romantic. Lavender derives from purple, and purple had been imported in Europe centuries ago as a result of traveling across the ocean to foreign countries. Because purple was imported, it was a very expensive pigment. So who could afford that was royalties and the church. We see it actually in many historical paintings. Unavoidably, purple and its derivative, lavender, assume the symbol of nobility, royalty, and luxury. This portrait pictures a young woman with a sophisticated face, probably with a classic bon-ton education that is part also of the new generation. She picks royal lavender and pink colors to dye her hair. Lavender symbolizes her heritage and her education and develops from half to bottom part of her hair. The pink, symbol of femininity and grace, is on the top and the middle of her hair. And in the middle, everything is in a romantic and playful vibe fusion. In this portrait, there is one topic represented in two main elements: contrast. Once we have the contrast between the symbolism of her two hair colors, the old, the educational, and the new, the generation inspired. And then there is the contrast between her romantic silk, semi-transparent white blouse with frills. The frill is another recall for royalty, by the way, and her black, shiny leather jacket. That might be even vegan leather, who knows? It's Gen Z at the end. Phase number 6, green eyes. What is more Gen Z than a girl with braids? A girl with colorful braids. She not only embraces her DNA heritage, but she is proud of it. Very feminine, very sophisticated features. A deep look that says, I know who I am. Do you? She wears as well a silk top with frills around the neck. The frills historically are symbols of royalty and high-end consumers. The portrait is called Green Eyes, not because her eyes are green, but because she looks so good with this sparkling green eye shade. In a matter of fact, no one looks as good as her with this color. It's inspired by her. It's manufactured only for her. What is noticeable is that this green shade and the fuchsia braids are not clashing, but harmonized with her personality. Among 6 portraits, there are 2 that have strong female features, and these are Wednesday and Green Eyes. The other portraits follow more androgenic lines because Gen Z is also representative of non-binary and equality. There was no need to put a particular light in it, and I prefer to keep the androgen feeling and let one decide the attribution they want to give to the portraits, or not, and leave it in the middle. It's a matter of personal choice at the end. If you arrived here, thank you for following my art. I know often it might look like embellishment art, but now you know it has a lot of meaning and thought behind it. If you like it, you can generally support me with a like, comment, or subscription to my channel at Supernova Studio. The same name you can type on Instagram to find me there. I'm Alexandra.